Welcome back, everyone, to our NASCAR Heat 2 coverage here at Knee Pit Gaming. So in our previous video, we got to take a look at setting up your wheel and pedal set to make sure that the car feels the way you need it to feel to get maximum speed and maximum enjoyment out of the game. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at one of the more requested features that developers received for the game, and that is the ability to customize your car or truck. So first, we're here on the main menu, and we're going to start off by clicking the second to last option in the bottom left, which is the My Driver option. That brings up 4 additional options. Now, the one we're going to be focusing on for the purposes of this video is the Customize Car feature. But I can tell you that the Custom Driver feature is basically the same as what we had in NASCAR Heat Evolution. You get a few basic options for body types and facial expressions, but then you can feel free to tweak different parts of the face to your heart's content. We'll be skipping over that. And the profile icon is, once again, the same as what we dealt with in NASCAR Heat Evolution, because you essentially choose your driver, and then that driver's number will show up in the top left-hand corner of the screen. Right now, you see the 7 there, and that is the 7 from Elliott Sadler, but that's basically all it entails. There's really not a lot more to it than that. The very bottom option, the Victory Anthem, we really can't do for the purposes of our video because of copyright issues. If I play the music that is involved here, you have several different options for victory music, and it's exactly what you would think it is. Every time you win a race in single player or multiplayer, this would be the music that plays. And if you're in multiplayer, then everyone is supposed to be able to hear your music after you win the race. So those are your basic options. Now let's take a look at the custom car feature. And as soon as we click on the custom car, you'll see that we have the option of 3 series to choose from: the Monster Energy series, Xfinity, and then finally the Camping World trucks. All of the options that we're going to look at herein, with all of the logos from sponsors, all of the colors, the paint schemes, the designs, all of these things are the same among all the 3 series and across all 3 series. So we're only going to look at, for our purposes, the Camping World trucks. So our first option to choose from is, which chassis do we want to go with? Do we want to use Ford, Chevy, or Toyota as our manufacturer? I'm going to choose Chevy. And then we move into the main screen for the paint schemes. The first thing that caught my eye was our inability to choose different numbers. We are stuck with only a few choices of 8, 28, 36, and 99. I would have preferred the ability to paint a car with any number on it, but unfortunately we don't have that option. So we move on to number fill, and that is simply the color of the number on the side of the car. And that brings me to one of the most interesting choices for this particular section of the game, and that is, I have not found any ability to stop the truck or car, as the case may be, from rotating while I'm trying to paint. It can get a little annoying when I'm trying to place logos and decide which logo I want to use or which color variant of a particular logo I want to use, when I can't stop the car so that I can actually see it, and I have to wait for the car or truck to spin all the way back around. So that's just a little bit of an annoyance. If any of you guys know of a way to actually stop this thing from spinning, let me know, because it can get quite annoying. Okay, we have a choice of 7 paint schemes available. You can see I'm using the one all the way to the right and the final one, but as we move back across, you can see all of the different schemes that are available. So starting with a very solid paint scheme with your base color and no stripes, all the way through your choice of additional schemes. I've chosen the last one, which is a few racing stripes on it that I enjoy. Then we come to our base paint color. Right now you can see that our base paint color is a darker blue. If I select the A button, then you can see all of the colors that are available to you, from blues, greens, yellows, reds, purples, and so on. Okay, once I choose a main color, then I will be taken to the next screen, which is, what shade of that color do you want? To the far left-hand side of the spectrum, you have the darkest shade of that, which in this case essentially looks black. all the way to the far right-hand side, which is essentially the lightest shade or white. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and select that. The same thing will go for the different colors of the stripes. We have our same options available for colors. Then we choose the shade of that particular color, and we're back to the main paint screen. Okay, so in this case, we have 3 stripes, only one base paint color, but then we have the 3 racing stripes on there. And then we get down to the bottom section, which gets into our decals or sponsorship. Okay, in this case, you can see I've put a few sponsors on there so we can see what it looks like, starting with our hood sponsor. And in this case, I felt what could be more appropriate than dustless blasting for a truck sponsor. So that just seemed to fit perfectly, so I chose that one. But you can see across the bottom, we've got generally 2 different variants of several of the sponsors where available. LiftMaster has 2 different variants, a black and a red option. Now you can start to see how annoying it can be that you can't see the hood except during certain times when the car is spinning around. But then you can see we've got Aris, and then Haas, Xfinity, Aspen Dental, Dow, Cat, and so on to choose from in sponsorships. And again, as I mentioned earlier in the video, these sponsors are consistent across all 3 series, so you don't have to worry about the sponsors changing as you move along. Or if you're like me, you actually wish there were some different sponsors in the different series so that you had the ability to maximize your customization options. Now, I've also seen that there's going to be some DLC coming, which is going to add some additional paint schemes, and I'm sure some additional sponsors as well. So we have that to look forward to in the future. So we have deck lid sponsor, we've got the rear TV, rear wheel, and then finally the rear quarter, which so far I've not chosen one, but now you can see it's just above the rear wheel behind it. And it looked a little weird to me. It almost looked like it was going downhill, but it's harder to tell since I can only see it at certain times. But yeah, to me, it looks like that's going downhill, although it may not actually be. But you can see what the different sponsors would look like if you had those in that location. For my purposes, I've simply left it at none. And then we come to the rim style. Okay, if we scroll back over, you can see the traditional black with red trim on the rim. And then as we move along, you can see there is yellow trim, a solid red rim. Then you get the yellow accent. And then a couple of lighter options, more of a light gray to white option. And then you start adding back in the different accents until finally you get with a darker gray, almost chrome look. There, I've gone with one of the lighter options for the car. Not a whole lot of difference there, but there you have it. Those are your paint options. And just to show you what the other 2 series look like, let's go into the Xfinity cars. And once again, you'll select your manufacturer. I'm going to go with Chevrolet. And here we go again with the Xfinity car. Again, same paint scheme. And if I come down to these sponsors, you can see we have the same sponsors that are available here as well. Okay, and finally, we'll back our way out and go into the Monster Energy series. Again, choose the Chevrolet chassis. And you can see that we indeed have the same options here as well, with the same sponsorship options available also. So there you have it, folks. Hopefully that will get you what you need and get you excited for the abilities that you will have to paint your own car and or truck. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned for more NASCAR Heat 2 coverage here at Knee Pit Gaming.